Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare favor, the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessing descend upon us who assembled, and grant that we see and consider all matters that shall come under the deliberation, in such just and faithful manner, as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests we have committed to our charge. Amen. I'd like to, with reference to our standing order number 32-2, I'd like to request the sergeant to ring the bell for the first 5 minutes. Honorable members, I can spot Honorable Adega sitting in for the majority leader. Can you please confirm if we have quorum?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have quorum in the House, Madam Speaker.
Can the clerk take us through the order paper of the day?
Order paper number 192 of today, Wednesday, 5th June 2024 at 9 a.m. Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it's statement time. So I'll open the floor for statements. Next order, clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of a report of the Implementation Committee on the status of the House resolutions, on the reports of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital.
Yeah, yes, Honorable Henrietta Bodo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. This is a report by Committee of Implementation. Madam Speaker, I think we need order so that we read the report and answer to it accordingly. The Select Committee on Implementation is mandated to scrutinize the resolutions of the County Assembly, including adopted committee reports, petitions, and the undertakings given by the County Executive Committee, and examine whether or not such decisions and undertakings have been implemented within 60 days, as provided for in the Standing Orders number 184 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders. The report of the Sectoral Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation on the status of referral hospitals in Kisumu County was tabled before this Honorable House on 9th August 2023 and adopted on 10th August 2023 subsequently. The second report on the committee on the status of Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi, was tabled on 5th September 2023 and adopted on 6th September 2023. The Select Committee on Implementation, at its meeting held on Monday, 11th March 2024, sought to follow up on the implementation status of House resolutions on the aforementioned reports by Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee pursuant to Standing Order number 184 of the County Assembly Standing Orders. In consideration, the implementation status of House resolution on the said report, the committee wrote a letter to the CEC member of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation to furnish it with a detailed response on the implementation of House resolutions on the aforementioned reports, and further invited him to appear before the committee to shed light on areas which were not responded to satisfactorily. However, His chief officer represented the department and responded to the issues. This report, therefore, is a compilation of the responses received in regards to the implementation status of the House resolutions on the report by Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital in Kisumu County. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the Sectoral Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation between the month of July and September 2023 conducted a site visit at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, Kisumu County Referral Hospital and Nyakach County Hospital in Kisumu County to establish status of the following. 1, services offered. 2, workload in terms of number of patients seen in a day. 3, number of staff per department sections. Number 4, names of staff against individual PF numbers. Number of staff who have left, retired or died. Number 6, number of beds capacity per department stroke section. Number 7, operational status of equipment. Number 8, number of ambulances in the hospital and their operational status. Number 9, any project where proposed or ongoing. Number 10, total amount owed to the facility by NHIF and or Linda Mama. Number 11, pending bills, total amount. Number 12, impact of FIF Act and the shortcomings for experienced in the process of its implementation, and 13, challenges and how the facility has for so far attempted to address them. Based on these findings and observations, the Committee on Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation made recommendations that were later adopted by the House in accordance with the relevant provisions of the County Assembly Standing Orders. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Standing Orders number 184 of the County Assembly Standing Orders, the Committee on Implementation at its meeting held on 11th, 2024, resolved to consider the implementation status of House resolutions on the reports by Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals, Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi, upon which the committee wrote a letter to the CECM member for Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation to furnish it with a detailed response on the implementation status of House resolutions on the aforementioned report. You can have a look at Annex 1 and 2. Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
What point of order is it, Honorable Guard?
Point of information.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to inform you that
Who do you want to inform, sorry?
the House.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to inform you that there's no quorum in the House.
Honorable Adega, sitting in for the majority leader, can you please confirm if you have quorum in the House? Honorable Adega.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have the quorum.
Thank you, Honorable Adega. So, Honorable Ndete Bodo, go ahead.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, pursuant to Standing Orders number 184 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, the Committee on Implementation at its meeting held on 11th March 2024 resolved to consider the implementation status of House resolutions on the report by Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi, upon which the committee wrote a letter to the CEC member of Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation to furnish it with a detailed response on the implementation status of the House resolution on the aforementioned report, C Annex 1 and 2. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the CEC member for Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation, in their response, informed the committee as follows. Implementation status of House resolution on the report by Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals in Kisumu County. 4.1. On recommendation that the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation should collaborate closely with the Public Service Board to expedite the recruitment process and establish a mechanism for regular workforce assessment and planning. Implementation status. The CECM informed the committee that the department continually collaborates with the Public Service Board to ensure timely requisition for the needed staff through the following process. 1, developing annual recruitment plan based on staffing needs and staff establishment. Number 2, that the department then prepares in-depth which enables identification of vacancies. Number 3, that the department therefore confirms budget from approved budgets, and upon confirmation and approval from the relevant Human Resource Management Advisory Committee and the Cabinet, the request is then forwarded by the County Secretary to the County Public Service Board to initiate the recruitment. That in regards to the mechanism for regular workforce assessment and planning, 1, the department has put in place a performance management plan to evaluate staff performance. That the plan entails linking individuals' tasks and departmental strategic objectives and linkage to co-mandate, development of measurable and time-bound performances indicators. That this is achieved through the staff performance appraisal system. Number 4, the results are tracked using the designed appraisal tool, and both appraiser and appraisee agree on the performance target. Quarterly, half-year, and end-year review meetings are conducted and individual performances rating done. Number 5, that the department has a performance management committee that meets regularly. Number 6, that the CHMT conducts both impromptu and organized spot check on facility visit to verify staff performance based on monthly facility staff return, among other parameters. 4.2, on the recommendation that the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation should collaborate closely with the Public Service Board to ensure that the partner contracted staff are given priority during recruitment process to review those hospitals, referral hospitals in bracket, from sourcing from human resources using monies that could otherwise be spent on commodities. Implementation status. The CECM informed the committee that the department, through the cabinet approval, engaged the board on recruitment of partner contracted staff. That in this financial year, the board transitioned 72 MOH as CIHEB staff to county payroll, and they were appointed on a 3-year contract. 4.3, resolutions on the establishment of a well-equipped and adequately satisfied ICU at Kisumu County Referral Hospital, staffing at Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. Implementation status. Number 1, the CECM stated that establishment of a intensive critical care facility requires certain critical infrastructure. Therefore, the department decided that a first step, a high dependency unit, HDU, be established at the facility. A HDU is considered as a step up or step down to and from the ICU, depending on the care required for patients. In terms of infrastructure, including equipment, the ICU and HDU requirements are similar. However, the ICU requires a higher patient to staff ratio than HDU. Number 2, that as at May 2024, the proposed HDU has not been established at the KCRH, but in preparation, the following steps have been undertaken. Roman 1, space allocation rooms have been set apart with an expected 8 bed capacity. Roman 2, the installation of an oxygen plant at the hospital and the laying of the piping for oxygen in the allocated spaces. Roman 3, equipment proposals have been made to the county health department, which has indicated that the funds will be allocated in the financial year 2024-2025. Number 4, staffing. The staff required will include ICU care trained nurses, anesthesiologists, and physicians. The county health department is expected to deploy the necessary trained personnel. Number 3, that in regards to staffing of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, the CECM stated that the facility is currently under new management and new structures. That with the bringing on board of this new CEO, the facility has developed staff's training needs assessment that guides on the human resource development. The staff of various cadres are currently released for specialized trainings. That the facility board of management, in consultations with the public service board, also identifies and recruit staffs on casual basis. 4.4, on resolutions of the CECM for medical services, public health and sanitation should collaborate with the CECM finance, economic planning, and to introduce a conditional payment release system that requires a satisfactory progress report for hospital management before contractors receive payments milestones. Implementation status. The CECM stated that inspection and acceptance reports are issued. 4.5. In regards to the implementation status of Social Health Insurance Fund, MARWA, the CECM informed the committee that, 1, the Kisumu County Social Health Insurance Project, MARWA, was initiated in 2020 and formalized through a fund regulation drive from the Finance Management Act 2012 and the Kisumu County Health Act 2019, that the Kisumu County Social Health Insurance Fund Regulation 2020 effected the implementation of the Kisumu County Social Insurance Project. Uh, 5.0, implementation status of House Resolution on the report by Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi. 5.1, a resolution that the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation to ensure posting consultants and a resident medical engineer to Paponditi Hospital. Implementation status. The CECM member of Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation submitted that the department plans to request the Public Service Board recruit 3 more medical engineers in the next financial year. That once this is done, the medical engineer will be posted to Nyakach County Hospital. That as for now, an arrangement has been made for the medical engineer covering Muhoroni to be covering Nyakach on roving basis. Number 2, that Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi, being a level 4 facility and has no consultant. The department, however, plans to deploy a gynecologist, general surgeon, and pediatrician once the maternity theater complex has been operationalized. 5.2, resolution on the construction of a modern mortuary at the facility for handling dead bodies. Implementation status. The CEC informed the committee that, 1, that the department has started renovating an existing temporary structure which is convenient to act as mortuary, where relocation of the mortuary will be, awaiting construction of a new standard modern mortuary. Number 2, that the department has allocated money in the proposed 2024-2025 budget for the purchase of mortuary equipment for Nyakach County Hospital. Number 3, that there is a qualified mortuarian now officially employed and posted. Okay, let's continue. That there is a qualified, you can also have a look at that. I don't know what it means. It is not mortician. Now officially employed and posted in Nyakach County Hospital to manage the mortuary services. 5.3. regard to the procurement and installation of medical equipment at the facility for quality care to patients, the CECM responded that the matter has been given priority as recommended by the Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation, and that some of the equipment procured were installed by vendors while the rest were installed by the biomedical engineers. Resolution that the two structures within the facility be demolished, proposed laundry and mortuary. Implementation status. The CECM responded as follows. Number one, that the assessment conducted by the Department of Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works personnel gave a preliminary report that the building were noticed to have been constructed without adequate ground beam, which compromised their stability and hence are risks and cannot be occupied. That there are very visible vertical cracks through the wall to the ring beam. Number two, that since the structures were built by the NGCDF, due process is currently being followed to allow the demolition of the same to create space for any other future development within the facility. 5.5. On the recommendation that the Department of Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation to engage the Department of Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works to invest on appropriate electrical infrastructure, surge protection system and backup power sources. Implementation status. The CECM responded as follows. Number one, that there are always constant consultation both at county and sub-county levels between the two departments concerning the projects and any other matter infrastructure. Number two, that the department through the MedSup Nyakach, that is Medical Superintendent Nyakach County Hospital, has consulted the KPLC, and it has been established that the current transformer being used by the facility is overloaded and there is need for the facility to have its stand-alone transformer for the optimal services delivery and reduction of frequent blackout. Number three, that the facility has two functional standby generators which are currently serving the facility by maintenance, but maintenance cost is high due to fuel in cases of frequent blackout. Number four, that the department is in consideration of solarizing the facility to allow some sections to be operated by solar to reduce the cost and allow the constant availability of energy in cases of power blackout. Five, 6. Resolution that the Department of Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation to engage with the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Department to provide legal and administrative interventions to acquire title deeds for the facility. That is Nyakach County Hospital. Implementation status. The CCM informed the committee that the department has a great concern on health facility title deeds and on their assessment it was established that over 75% of health facilities do not have title deeds. That this committee recommendation prompted the department to do a letter to the Department of Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Department with a list of all existing and upcoming health facilities for processing of the title deeds. 5.7, on engagement of qualified, committed and responsible site contractors who are willing to take ownership of problems and implement solutions. Implementation status. The CECM informed the committee that all contractors being engaged to undertake the departmental projects are ones who are qualified by Kisumu County. Number 2, all procurement processes for projects must always be done as per the PPRA, Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, and proper due diligence done by the evaluation committee before the award is issued. That the procurement and award of the contractors is always being done as per the procurement framework. Number 4, that all projects awarded are guided by the tender documents, which guide on possibility of defect, liability, and liabilities on the contract during the entire implementation period. Number 5, that currently there is no contractors who have been replaced, but in 2021 and 2022, there were contractors who were recommended by the department not to be allowed to undertake the projects in the department. 5.8. On recommendation that the ongoing construction of the maternity complex be immediately halted and a comprehensive structural assessment be conducted by qualified expert engineer to determine the extent of damage and whether it poses a threat to the building stability. The CECM informed the committee, 1, that the Department of Public Health conducted the inspection during project appraisal and issued certificate of completion report confirming the stability of the building. Number 2, that the constructor went back on site with the instruction of the project manager and replaced the entire theater hall roof, which had serious leakage. Replaced all the hanging gutters and adequately sealed the leakages that were being noticed in the ward. Number 3, that the department is constantly monitoring structural condition of the building, and in case of any defect, due process will be followed before the contractor is paid the retention fund. Number 5.9, in regards to holding on payments to contractors awaiting comprehensive structural assessment by expert engineer, the CECM informed the committee as follows. Number 1, that the final payment certificate of the contractor was done after the contractor went back to the site and corrected all the defects that were in the building. Number 2, that the retention of fee for both certificates 1 and 2 have been released since the contract is still within the defect liability period. General findings and observation. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee, having reviewed the responses from the CEC member for medical services, public health, and sanitation on the implementation status of House resolutions, on the reports by Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi, the committee made the following observations. One, on resolution that the Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation to ensure posting consultants and a resident medical engineer to Nyakach County Hospital, and to ensure establishing adequate staff ICU at Kisumu County Referral Hospital, the committee observed that the implementation of the recommendations needed planning and budgeting by the department. Number two, that the implementation of most of the House resolutions on the aforementioned reports are done while some are ongoing. Committee recommendation. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee, having considered the implementation status of House resolutions on the report by Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi, the committee recommends that, one, this honorable House adopt this report on its inquiry on the implementation status of House resolution on the report by Medical Service, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on its consideration on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital, Paponditi. Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. Thank you.
Honorable Rita Bodo, you didn't call anyone to second your report.
Thank you for that reminder, Madam Speaker. Honorable Were.
Yes, Honorable Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to tell this Honorable House that there were some resolutions that were brought forward by the Committee on Health Services to the Committee on Implementation. And Madam Speaker, there were various issues that were raised that we needed to know the implementation status. I think there were around 13 issues. And Madam Speaker, all those issues were touching on various various things that were needed to be done in those referral, the referral hospitals that we have, and Nyakach sub-county hospital. And they were touching on staffing. One was touching on staffing. Madam Speaker, there was enough explanation from the Department on Health that was led by the CCM Health that with consultation from the Public Service Board, they are ensuring that they get the qualified staff that will be responsible for the medical care in our facilities. Madam Speaker, there were also concern about the infrastructure development that were touching in various, from a mortuary, from ensuring that we have the power backup in our facilities, to ensure that we have the necessary equipments that we need. And Madam Speaker, that was also explained and the committee was convinced. Madam Speaker, there were also concern about technology integration, because in some facilities we could not even collect revenue because there were no networks. And Madam Speaker, there was also enough explanation that something is being done. And I believe, Madam Speaker, with all the explanation that were given to the committee, I believe that something is happening. It may not be 100%, but I believe that some implementation is being done, and I do beg to second this report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, and now that the report by the Select Committee on Implementation, on the implementation status of the House resolutions, on the reports by Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, on the status of referral hospitals, and Nyakach County Hospital in Kisumu County, has been presented and seconded. And as per standing orders, I want to propose that this report by this Select Committee of Implementation is now open for debate. Yes, I can see Honorable Mido Jumbo on her feet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to stand on behalf of the Implementation Committee, where I'm a member. I want to stand to support the report by the Implementation Committee. As the report was being read, Madam Speaker, I don't know if my microphone is working. Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report by the Implementation Committee. The report that was brought due to the Health Committee on Health and Sanitation, when they went round the facilities. They went to Jaramogi Odinga Teaching and Referral, Kisumu County Referral, and Nyakach Hospital, Sub-County Hospital. And there are quite a number of issues that were raised as they were going round, and there are 13 of them, Madam Speaker. When I look at this report, not all the 13 items have been covered, have been reported by the Implementation Committee, and I want to say that some are still pending. The report that has been brought is not a full report. If you look at the report, the services that are offered by these facilities, they are indicated in the report, the ICU, HDU, those that the hospital is doing. And I want to just, I want to agree with the CC member through the Chief Officer of Health that indeed some of the hospitals that had issues like they are not well equipped in terms of ICU. That is the facility at the Sub-County Hospital in Kisumu Referral. But the department is doing all it can so that they can liaise with the budget committee so that they can see how they can capture and plan for the 2024-25 so that the facility can have an ICU, an adequate ICU. On Nyakach County Hospital, Sub-County, the department has done all it can, though so far not so good. The department is in the new budget 2024-25 plans to post new consultants on a pediatrician and medical doctors to that facility. It's a sub-county facility, Madam Speaker, and it requires a lot of equipment, it requires consultants. And so the department has indicated that they intend to post new specialized doctors to the facility. On the department plans to deploy, they plan to liaise with the Public Service Board so that they can recruit specialized people to that facility. I've also noticed that the department has also planned to, there's no mortuary as we speak, but they plan to do a modern mortuary, renovate a temporary mortuary. Without a mortuary in hospital, Madam Speaker, you realize there's a lot of problem. Giving an example of my ward and our sub-county Seme, in Kombewa we do not have a mortuary. And I look at Nyakach sub-county hospital also, with no mortuary, but the department has allocated some cash. When they came here, they said they've allocated some cash so that they can put up a temporary mortuary that can accommodate bodies. On the issuance of title deeds, most hospitals, about 75% of our health facilities, do not have titles. And the department, when they came, they also assured us that they will liaise with the Department of Lands and Physical Planning so that titles can be fast-tracked and eventually they can issue them with title deeds. I just stand to support what implementation committee has done, and I would request members to support the implementation committee. Do not look at the 13 items that have not been done, but quite a number of jobs have been done here, and we are still ongoing. It's an ongoing process. So next time we will still come back as an implementation committee with more recommendations and more work that has been done. I stand to support the report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Peto Iko.
Madam Speaker, today I've seen what should be the trend of the House. The members of the committee standing up to interrogate their report. That is a credit, Madam Speaker. And that should be the spirit of the House. Madam Speaker, there were 13 items raised by the Health Committee that were picked up by implementation committee to find out with the relevant department what they are doing to improve the 3 medical facilities in Kisumu, that is Nyakach, Jaramogi Odinga, and Kisumu County Referral Hospital. Madam Speaker, the 3 items were very critical in the management of these health facilities. Madam Speaker, there is the Marwa factor. This matter of Marwa, from the way it is put here, that is on page 10, in regards to implementation status of Social Health Insurance Fund, Marwa, the County Executive Committee member informed the committee, and the information by the end of the statement, 2020 affected the implementation of the Kisumu County Social Insurance Project. We are not getting a good picture how effective Marwa is being implemented. And this was a medical scheme we thought would help our people who are downtrodden. We need to find out the true position of Marwa, Madam Speaker. Whether it is a failed project or it is moving on and it is a success story. Madam Speaker, matters of staff is raised here. It is just at the end of it. Would have liked to know the staffing position as per healthy facility, and the good effort stated should be factual. Nyakach health facility, the number we have is this, the shortage we have is this, and the request we have put forward is this. That will be very good, and that will give us a very good picture of the department to help our people. Because when there is a healthy facility, without good staffing, our people are bound to suffer. We shall not offer good health services. And this brings me to this, Madam Speaker. We know we want to promote Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital to a parastatal status. So that is funded directly by the national government. That is good. And as this is going to be done, we must also foresee this. We must promote the services offered at Kisumu Referral Hospital so that it takes over from Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. And it is surprising, Madam Speaker, Nyakach, a referral hospital, has no mortuary. That means the Nyakach people have to take their dead to private mortuaries or travel all the way to Kisumu. The department must hurry up with the mortuary matter in Nyakach so that our people in Nyakach get this service at their doorstep. And another matter, Madam Speaker, is a matter of National Hospital Insurance Fund and Linda Mama. We need a clear picture of how much our health facilities are collecting from National Hospital Insurance Fund, Linda Mama, so that we just don't give stories. We want to report in terms of figures, because these records are there. There's also the matter of pending bills, which is number 11, but it is not handled in this report. That means proper records would not have been provided. But, Madam Speaker, when we go this way, we shall be doing a good service to the executive, because we shall be interrogating where the gaps are, and in this way, we shall be asking them to pull up their socks. And in the overall, the financial position of Kisumu County may be improved when we go the way we are going now. This is how to handle the executive. And this is what the assembly is supposed to do, to pinpoint where they feel there are gaps. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to support, and I believe we shall move this way. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Kennedy Ouko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to support the report of the Implementation Committee and urge the committee to stand tall to be counted. We should give them the best support so far, because we all understand the work which is required from them. The moment we pass any kind of motion here, it is taken to the Implementation Committee and they do a follow-up. I think the leadership, you should be open for critiques and some of encouragements from members, because this is a collective responsibility. It is not only for the committee, but it is for the House. So I would encourage the committee to soldier on. We understand you have a lot of work, and we expect a lot from you, but with our support, I know you will make it. The main problem with our hospitals is not just understaffing or something like that, but the main problem with our hospital is Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Remember, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga is consuming almost 75% of the departmental budget of health. And now remember the small hospitals, the feeder hospitals, be it sub-county, county hospitals, they only share 25%, which is quite unfortunate. And by that, I would like to congratulate the governor for accepting that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga be elevated to level 6 hospital. That means it is going to be a parastatal now. And will now the national government will take over. Now the budget, which the 75% which actually they have been giving Jaramogi, is now going to be distributed to our hospitals. So we expect the best from that. The moment we do that, remember Jaramogi alone has a staff which is equal to the whole departmental staffs for Busia Hospital. And if we can do that, it's going to help us a lot. We have matters which we have gone through Pig Park concerning these hospitals. And I'm aware most of these parks were picked from Pig Park. I would also like, Madam Speaker, that wherever we are dealing with issues concerning a department like health, we consult a lot with the Committee of Health so that we come with a comprehensive report that can be implemented. That is also very important. The other time when you were in the house here, there was a lot of problems in one way or the other. But being a collective responsibility for the executive and the assembly, we must stand tall to do our oversight or role. It is very important. Madam Speaker, at times we may be just putting a lot of literature, but implementations. We need a good meeting with the executive so that they also implement what we have been passing here. If we leave it only to the implementation committee, we will be blaming the good honorable member Henrietta, but the responsibility lies with everybody here. So I hope we can devise a way of dealing with the executive so that they understand that what is from the house is binding. Otherwise, I support the report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to congratulate my sister, and I think the report is really good. And if we can be having such kind of reports of implementation for the various recommendations done by various committees, the same as done by the Health Committee, that would be really nice. And it can go a long way to improve on a service delivery for our facilities. Madam Speaker, I've been to Paponditi and I've seen how far Nyakach County Hospital has gone. And indeed, the recommendation therein are really timely. We need staffing there because there is a theater being done which is almost complete, and we'll need the staffing so that it is operationalized immediately, that it get to use. That will really change a lot in Nyakach, and I really believe that this is what devolution is all about, to make changes where there were not. All our surgeries were being done in Kisumu and even until now, but there comes a time when such recommendations will see light and we'll have all the surgeries done in Nyakach for the various referrals from our level 3 and level 2 hospitals in Nyakach. And I think this is a big move. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the county government for really allocating good sums of money for that county hospital. Because for a long time, I think since inception, there has not been much done until devolution came, and in this regime, a lot has been really achieved within the few years. I think for the last 4 years or 5 years, there's a lot of change that has been done, as mentioned in the report. The generator, the standby generator, we now have a modern incinerator in the facility. The theater is almost complete. So this is the best way to go. And I would urge that this key point agenda of the 13 points, if they can be taken seriously to the latter, then a lot is coming to be well with that hospital. I beg to support. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Millicent Omuya.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm also rising to support the work that has been done by the Committee of Implementation. I want to focus on these 3 or 13 points. And I will say that suppose we could get answers for these 13 listed points, I think as a county we shall be in a very good position of explaining what we are doing in this government. And more so as the representatives of the people, these are questions that if at all they are answered, even me in my locality, I will be in a position to explain what is happening in my facilities. Like if we want to talk about point 4, I can remember when the devolution was starting, we had a body which was called transitional team. It was appointed by the government. And when devolution was starting, the government decided to do what we call staff audit. And when the staff audit was done, it was realized that we have ghost workers. And in fact, I was one of the witnesses because I was working in the personnel registry. There were ghost workers. How are these ghost workers coming in? There were people who worked in this government so many years back, but they transferred. So you'll get that he's earning from Kisumu and he's also earning from Homa Bay. Those people were brought to court and they were made to pay the allowances of the salaries that they were earning illegally. And if we can get all the staffs from not even the health department only, across the departments, a staff against his or her appointment letter, plus the PF, plus the salary slip. I want to confirm to you that we are going to get people who are earning without working. And it will not be only in the Department of Health, it will cut across all these departments. So I think the idea of having our staffs against their PF numbers will help us to establish that which people are working for this government, which people are working outside this government but are also earning from this government, and it will bring a lot of sanity. Then I want to go to point 11. we have this monster we call pending bills. The issue of pending bills has been a monster because it is a pending bill that is not ending. And the fact that there has been a leeway of doing these payments, this is where we get the issue of recycling files. I would just wish that when we talk of pending bills, let's have the list of pending bills and the list of those who have been paid and the list of those pending bills awaiting payment. Members, I'm going to end at that. And I just want to congratulate Implementation Committee under the leadership of my able sister, Honorable Henrietta. Henrietta, thank you so much. Today you brought us something that we as members can touch and talk on. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Sami Onyango.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, may I call the mover to reply?
Honorable Henrietta Bodo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. I would like to thank each and every one of you for supporting this motion that the Committee of Implementation has brought before you after a lengthy time. Madam Speaker, it is not that the Committee of Implementation is not working, but one of the members have just indicated, Honorable Uko, that we have so much, and the supporting staff that we have at the moment is not enough for the kind of work we have. Madam Speaker, as it may be, we are going to try our level best, because personally, I like excellence. I don't rush into things, and I don't rush into matters. And probably that is what makes us look like we are not working. But I want to say a Kiswahili saying that goes that kutangulia sio kufika. You can start, but we'll find you along the way. So we have such of these reports, and I think we'll be bringing them hopefully on a weekly basis. We have just touched on one facility, and I hope we are going to bring the 3 facilities that are not being touched today. Secondly, the 3-point questions that were brought to us, points that were brought to us by Health Committee. Some of them have been tackled here, and I think some of them we are going to tackle in the subsequent reports. I stand to reply. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, and now that the report by the Select Committee on Implementation, on the implementation status of the House resolutions, on the reports by the Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, on the status of referral hospitals, and Nyakach County Hospital in Kisumu County, has been presented, seconded and debated. And it's time for me to propose a question. And I propose that as many as of the opinion that the report by the Select Committee on Implementation, on the implementation status of the House resolutions, on the reports by the Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee, on the status of referral hospitals and Nyakach County Hospital in Kisumu County be adopted, say aye. Aye. And as many as of the contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. And therefore the report by the Select Committee on implementation on the implementation status of the House resolutions on the reports by Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation Committee on the status of referral hospitals at Nyakach County Hospital in Kisumu County has been adopted today, Wednesday, the 5th of June, 2024 at 10:21 hours. Thank you.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order.
Honorable members, and there being no any other business for consideration, this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, the 5th of June, 2024 at 2:30.